Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian, and I'm continuing the Carry On series. Yes, we're at the 14th film. Wow, the 14th. Well, this one is Carry On, Follow That Camel from 1967. Again, originally it was down as Follow That Camel. So we've had two, because we had the previous one, which dropped the Carry On title. And now we've got this one, but then they reverted back. So, the previous one we had was Don't Lose Your Head. Carry On, Don't Lose Your Head, we'll say. Then after this, we've got back Carry On, Doctor. Yes, another medical one. We're back there. That's 1967 as well. So there we are. That's following this rate. And let me get into it. This is 95 minutes long. It's written by Talbot Rothwell. It's really, he bases it on the parody of Beau Geste, which was a novel from 1924, I think, by P.C. Oren, and it's been used over the years. It goes back, this parody of the Foreign Legion. It appears in all sorts of films, and yeah, there it is. He does a great job. And I think his scripts are getting even more riskier in places, as you'll see. It's produced, as usual, by Peter Rogers, directed by Gerald Thomas. Now, again, the big absence from this film is Sid James. Hey, Sid, what's happened again? You're off. Well, Sid James was doing a sitcom on ITV. Some of you may not have heard of it, but it was called George and the Dragon, and that ran from 1966 to 1968. Wow, yes, there it is. Bless This House is not until 1971, but there we are, he was involved in this. So, let me talk about the regulars. We got Jim Dale again, playing a rather posh part this time, a bit of an upper-class twit, as Monty Python would say. He was Bertram Oliphant of Bow West. Then we got Peter Butterworth back as Simpson. Again, he's faithful butler, and he's still so funny. And of course, he has to get dressed up in women's clothes again in a scene. They choose him. It's almost, if you remember, it's happened before. It's so funny. Then, of course, we've got Kenneth Williams. Oh, he's loving it. He plays Commandant Maximilian Burger. Oh, he's so funny again in it. Brilliant. His accents and everything is so funny. And, of course, we've got, well, you can't have a carry-on film without him, Charles Hawtrey as Captain Lebis. Yes. And then we've got, I love her, you know I do, Joan Sims. She's playing a character called Zig Zig. And she's got a funny accent as well that she's put on, and it's brilliant. I love it. I love her accent. Oh, she's great. Absolutely fantastic. And oh, yeah, funny. She ain't enough. But she's great. And then we've got Angela Douglas playing the posh Lady Jane Ponsonby. And yeah, she's very funny at that. In this posh role. Of course, Angela Douglas had been in Carry On Cowboy 1965. She was in Carry On Screaming 1966. And she was going to be in Carry On Up the Khyber in 1968. Yes. Oh, yes. And also, I always put her in, she played Doris for two episodes, The Brigadier's Wife in Doctor Who, Sylvester McCoy's last season. Fantastic. Yes, I always put that in. But anyhow, she's funny in this. She's the posh one. Yes, it's very fun. And of course, Bernard Breslau, the towering Bernard Breslau. He's back as Shape Abdul Abdullah or Bull or something. It's so funny. He's funny. He wouldn't get away with that. He wouldn't be allowed nowadays to be doing this character, but he does it so well. Then we've got a guest star. Again, I notice Anita Harris playing Cork Tip. And she was a singer, actress, and she's going to be in Carry On Doctor, 1967. And then we got Peter Gilmore returning in a very small role again. Peter Gilmore just keeps popping up every week. I mention him. He plays Captain Bagshaw, but he's very short. So you're saying, hey, Bayek, who's the main star? Well, they brought in Phil Silvers. What? Phil Silvers? Yes, Phil Silvers. I think the idea was quite clear. They wanted to get more appeal in the American market. So Phil Silvers became available. Apparently, they paid him a massive salary as well. Let's put it like this. Phil Silvers, Bilko, massive in the 50s. His film career had been quite big in things like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, 1963. But you could see by this time he perhaps was a bit on the way in his career. He wasn't as big, massive, and he obviously fancied the money here because they offered him and paid £30,000. £30,000 is a massive amount for them, for the Carry On people to pay that. They really were hoping for a good investment. Apparently, though, he didn't learn his lines. They had to hold them up to remind him. He's a man who's perhaps not really at his full capacity, really. It's almost like he's just there as a paycheck. There is an interview on this box set with him, which I think is quite revealing looking at him. I think I can understand he does feel a bit, which is such a shame because Sergeant Bilko is such an iconic, wonderful character. I love Sergeant Bilko. And they thought, oh, Sergeant Bilko, he can play a sergeant in this film. And that's what they did. They put him in that. And there he is. He's the star of the film. Yeah. I do love him. I mean, I think he is good in the film, but it's... Yeah, knowing the background and to what it is, it kind of is a bit, I can feel it a bit more in his performance. It's good. He's giving the best he can, and it's good. But is it, it's not Bilko, no, and he's not meant. People will say, well, he shouldn't be Bilko because he's another character. But they had that sort of aim, and though he's still using the sort of things that Bilko would do, his acting. That's what I mean. His acting's at a certain level. That's it. That's what you get from him. This, as usual, was filmed at Pinewood Studios, but there was a 3-week shooting on Rye and Camber Sands in Sussex, and it looks very effective. Very effective what they're filming. That's to create the desert. Then we've got Swalsky House in Ickenham, Middlesex. Then we've got Osterley Pack House in Isleworth, Middlesex. The filming looks absolutely fantastic. Again, if there's one thing that has impressed me about all these films, and in the colour now, the Technicolor and everything, doesn't it look fantastic? You'd think they were on these massive exotic locations. They do it so well, and the costumes, again, fantastic. Everything about the whole look. I mean, the director does such a great job with these films, and I think we should praise perhaps that much. And it's funny as well. It still is very funny. I mean, the story, of this posh chap, the Jim Dale character, the Bo West, if you want to call him, he is the one that gets falsely accused and decides to go to join the Foreign Legion, you know, he didn't want the shame on this. It's all to do with cricket and cheating and all that. So he goes into the Foreign Legion, and that's when we get all the adventures, and they all begin, and it gets very silly and funny, and it's great. And as I say, it looks really good. You if you're a Carry On fan, you just can't help but laugh at some of the jokes again, and some of the slapstick humour. But the visuals, you know, I mean, visuals are absolutely fantastic. And this film is, yeah, it's a real joy. It's a real treat to watch a film like this in the Carry On series. And I'm really, you know, you just don't have to think too much. Just enjoy it. Just sit and enjoy it all. And also enjoy the visual feast in front of you. Yes. So I think that my overall impression of this film is, if I was to rate it in the Carry On films, I think it's perhaps not the greatest one of all the Carry On films, but it's a good one. It's a good one that you can enjoy. And I think the reasons there, I don't want to say too much, but because I do love Phil Silvers, and you feel you wanted more from him. And obviously he's just doing the script and that, but the fact that he was not bothering to learn the script is kind of, I mean, he's good in it for what it is, but you feel it could be better. And that's just my. I'm trying not to be negative, because I love the film, and I love Phil Silvers. I really do. Bilko is just such a great series. It's one that I laugh at and still enjoy watching. Actually, Bilko. But that's just how it is, I think, with it. But I don't think there has been any really terrible Carry On films at all. You know, any we've had. And the fact, the visuals and everything else about this film elevate it more. So, yeah, I've totally enjoyed it. And I think that's it, really. Here, as usual, I just show you the box set. You see this every week, it pops up. But as I say, the extra with Phil Silver's interview on the sands is really interesting. It's really good. Just if you've got this set, have a watch at that. Yes, definitely have a look at it. Yeah. So that's it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you've not subscribed, subscribe now. It all costs note. And if you like it, please give it a like. It helps with algorithms and all that. That's great. It's fantastic. And I love your comments. Please put your comments down if you've got any comments, and I'll reply to them. And I say, all costs note, and I just love to hear from you, and, you know, I hope you enjoy it. You know, I enjoy making these things, so that's it. Anyhow, bye. So all I've got to say is, I'll see you again.